Zachary in there too. Raked for by Fennick. He says play on, and Fennick dives back on the ball. Oh, and there's another punch up. Rampling and Grant. Fennick is out cold on the ground, and Grant and Rampling are dishing it out to each other. Well, neither of these fellows has been known to take a backward step. Rampling and Grant is really voicing off his opinion. And in the meantime, somebody's had the intelligence to get to Fennick and reef that mouth guard out of his mouth. He was lying face down. Bangs.
Asnear, the captain of the Australian team, and John McDonald of Queensland, playing his fourth game of football since he was injured in the first test against Great Britain last year. Now here's a nasty incident. Unfortunate flare-up in the early stages of the game. This is quite nasty. Referee Cole Pearce, as you can see, has the players now under control, but there'll be several cautions handed out here, I'm sure. Quite a few fists flying there from several players. It'll be interesting to see just which players now are called out by referee Cole Pearce. The player on the ground, unfortunately I can't see him very well. You can see him as well as I can, but it may be 5'8" Johnny Gleeson, the Australian scrum half. Yes, it is Gleeson, but I don't think he's badly hurt. As you can see, he's now in a sitting position, and I'm sure, or at least I hope, will be able to continue for the Australian team. And by the way, two players have been ordered off by referee Cole Pearce. We can see them there. It's Noel Kelly of Australia, and number 10 for New Zealand is Robin Orchard. Two prop forwards have been ordered off in the first minute of play. Now this is most unfortunate, a very bad start to the second.
Lane, Hemsley, Whittaker. There he is. Schofield's pass finds Roach. He's dropped it. Knock on ruled, and there's Roach and Whittaker. It's a break up behind play. Fisticuffs flying all over the place.
Faces to the people in Sydney watching it, but having a look at the front row where we've got Mark Creer, Eddie Mueller and Greg Dowling, the first thing we'd notice is that these fellows are particularly big. It's an extremely big pack of forwards.
And so what was expected by some has come out of that first confrontation in the scrum, and punches are flying left, right and centre and right across the ground. The referee is ignoring the fighting and letting the football continue. There are at least 4 different disgraceful arguments, fistic confrontations taking place right across the ground. The referee is doing what I saw a French referee do here about 8 years ago. He's letting play go on. And still they're fighting. An absolute all-in brawl. And they still want to go on with it. And there's a knock-on ruled, and so a scrum is to pack down. Of course, players vying during the 1984 National Panasonic Cup for the $20,000 worth of national products that go to the Superstar of the Year. Now the halfbacks have become entangled in their own private confrontation. Mario Fenech trying to break it up as play goes on, and this referee is just totally ignoring any warfare. He caught in sight.
Muller didn't have the pace to go on with it, but his outside backs were very slow to get there. Had there been a player in support, that would have been a try to Souths.
A try to Brisbane.
To Brisbane.
Penalty to Brisbane. Right in front of the uprights on the 22 line. Well, Terry Murphy may have been the victim of circumstances here, but he was pulled down again by the Brisbane player, got up, The Brisbane player hit him, he hit him back, and the referee only saw what Terry Murphy did.
Monsieur Amial, le point de vue du technicien, que pensez-vous de ce match jusqu'à maintenant?
Et ça se jouera les 10 dernières minutes à mon point de vue, parce qu'ils sont très forts dans les contre-attaques. Et évidemment, si l'équipe de France tient, on peut tout espérer.
Il faut signaler que la règle de ce quatrième tenu a bouleversé complètement la physionomie du jeu.
Et oui, parce que maintenant, on est obligé de taper, même à 1 minute de la fin, donc de donner le ballon à l'adversaire.
Steve Mortimer to feed for the Bulldogs. And it's a south ball. Oh, Steve, what are you doing out there? Going through hard. Craig Coleman, well caught. He'll play it to David Boyle. In the meantime, we've got a little bit of a disagreement going on in the back play. One of the players involved, Dean Rampling. Jeff Robinson trying to stop a lot of nonsense that's going on in there, and I think that'll sort itself out. Referee John O'Donnell coming across to also try and sort that out. The touch judges will... Bit of untidy work by the Rabbitohs. Kick ahead, that could bounce for him. Picked up beautifully there by Ellison. Ellison gets it back to Coleman. Hit very hard by Steve Mortimer. And a penalty going against Steve Mortimer for what seemed to me to be not a bad sort of a tackle.
By Paul Langmack. The ball comes across to Paul Mayers. He gets outside the 22 line, looks for a handoff, but then hangs on. And Batiste is showing the referee's finger as if to say, I was bitten. Gee, I feel happy for this man, Steve Edge. In fact, I think every rugby league lover would feel tremendously happy and also thrilled that this man has battled his way back. Here's a high tackle on Sterling by Chris Mortimer, and I think Chris actually patted Peter on the head and said sorry.
That Steve Mortimer is one of the dangerous Bulldogs that's just got to be taken out of play at all costs.
Batiste, now the crowd roars. They've seen something quite obviously down there that might not have been quite as obvious to us people watching it from high up, but the people down on the fence, they stood as one and started pointing to the referee and touch judge, appealing for something to be done. South scrum win. Bit of an eruption coming out of the scrum, and Sterling has got involved with young Coleman, and the punches are flying. Sterling and Coleman in one exchange. Detective Sergeant Kevin Roberts takes the evidence. This is what happened. Sterling and Coleman. Sterling got a couple of shots in before the little bloke retaliated.
Roach turns the ball again back to Jack very quickly, tries to step and offload, but he can't get his pass away. He's pulled down. We've got a bit of a fight going there, Pete.
Yes, we have. It's Kelly and Stephen Roach, and you watch the football, I watch the blow.
Okay,
it's
well,
a beauty.
I've got the football under control. Philippina, eventually the referee is trying to get control of this. These two big men still going at it. And
the Canterbury players, Stephen Folkes has gone in there, and Langmack to pull a few away.
Both laughing.
Langmack pulled them away. There was no way in the world that Kelly was going to stop, and Stephen, real excitement machine.
Now we've got Stephen Folkes right on the halfway line, playing it back to Billy Johnson. He gives it across to Robinson. He takes it. He makes the break. He turns it back outside. Oh, to Langmack, and Langmack is charged down by Gary Jack.
And Greg Hu was right beside Langmack before he was flattened by Gary Jack. It was Terry Lamb again, and if he gives the pass, Lamb is over for his third try in 7 minutes.
Looking at that little bit of an incident between Folkes and Boyle, looked like Boyle finished up with a poke on the chin. Penalty to Canterbury. South's inside the 5, right in front. Touch judge in. Now, what's this all about? Any idea, Bill?
Michael Podgy in the back play, the Canterbury Bankstown player didn't have the ball. Podgy came in over the top and it looked like he collected him with his arm. The linesman was going to run on and report it, but played the advantage to Canterbury, and he's gone on now. The penalty for the 5 metres has been awarded.
So Chris Mortimer is the new kicker for Canterbury in the absence of Ross Conlon. Coleman. That's Hardy. He's played strongly, Hardy. He does have a tendency to get out. Oh, the brawl goes on in centre ground. Darren McCarthy, he's not taking any backward steps with Paul Langmack. A couple of young warriors. They were letting plenty go. I don't know that many found the mark.
Oh dear, this might, no, it hasn't brought a penalty. I thought